Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to the 420th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, February 17th, 2022. Mr. Kesh, are you prepared to entertain some questions here today from the Knowledge Seekers?
So entertainment of the man has become our job.
I use that word hesitantly.
Pardon?
I use that word hesitantly, but it's appropriate sometimes. We have to entertain, otherwise people ignore in many ways because we're trained to be entertained.
Yeah, we have to entertain the children of man.
I'll remind the attendees here that they can raise their hands and then we can acknowledge you to open your microphone. Okay. Fried mentions in the live stream a true explanation of love, an astounding message for Valentine's Day, a few days late. Thank you, Mr. Kesh. Okay. Christopher says, thanks a lot for your lovely description about the energetic relationships between electrons and their practical effects in their life. Christoph, I guess it is, yes. Okay. Let's see, we have a question from Cristiano, or through Cristiano. It's a question from Marco. It says, hello, Mr. Keshrick and Knowledge Seekers. I have some questions that in the end becomes one. Mr. Kesh, the proton can be magnetic or gravitational? How many protons are allowed to accompany an electron? Who allows this approach to the electron? And finally, at what point is the proton is allowed to integrate with the electron at the physicality? Thank you. That was from Brazil. Next question.
No, in essence, no one dictates. They feel the strength of themselves and the environment. There is, if you look, for example, as I said in the first part, you boil the water and you create a moisture in there. And the coldness of the outside environment on the window creates mist or the moisture on the wall, which means here's manifestation back to what came from the pot. But you will see the size of the droplets from the window or the glass is more or less the same. And you see the freezing of the water on the window because of the coldness of the air is the same. So in fact, the outside condition has dictated the size of the raindrop inside. It's the same with the creation of electron. The magnetic field of the universe dictates the size of the electron, dictates the size, how much plasma will create a plasma of electron, how much field of the different strength will create a condition of the proton. And then you understand when you have a field changes strength difference, a neutron splits to keep its integrity to the size of the plasma of electron and the proton. We see the knowledge is the same, but the understanding changes. In a way, the center of field forces of the galaxy, the field strength forces of the universe dictates the size of that droplet on the window. Because that's the one which is outside, which is from the interaction of the fields of the environment, the solar system, the galaxy, and the universe. This is why I always said, in the dimension of understanding, as the totality of the fields of the universe is created by the existence of pressure, presence of the soul of the creator, according to the environment of the given position, the size of the electrons will be different, even though you find electron in every universe in existence. And this is why they became different universes, because the field pressures are different. And I feel the pressure outside dictates the size, the position is the same droplet, but outside temperature colder, it becomes drop of ice, but the same size as the other drop, which in the other room is still warmer, kept slightly compared to the outside, and it stays a drop of liquid drop in the same house. How many times you have called your lover, chill and says, come and have a look. In the ice on the window, where the next door there is moisture. The same pot still cooking in the same kitchen in the same house. So we understand that the world of the creation of the manifestation, absorption, or as we observe it, is strength field position dependent and nothing else. You feel cold in the bed, the same soul, the same physicality. You get cuddled, get touched by the touch of the lover. The cold in the bed does not exist because the love of the lover is so strong that overwhelms the coldness. You feel the heat, you feel the warmth of the emotion. And that what we call the love of Creator. When it touches you, it melts you. When it touches you, it freezes you to have no feeling, because it's you who have decided the one which cuddled me is the one I love or the one I hate. It's you, with the interaction of your emotion with his emotion, which creates that condition of the environment of the bed, which is a bed of life, is the existence of the universe. The husband cuddles you, you have a hate within the emotion of the structure, you crumble. Same time, the child you love walks in and you cuddle you. And you cuddle it. And then you feel the warmth of love. But the other side of the same existence, hate exists. What is the division? What is the separation? Didn't man give you the same love as the child did? Is you who decide want to be the hate and want to be the love? Or if you love your man the same as the child, you'll be overwhelmed with the love of both. It's the same field. It's you who creates that condition. And it's you who creates that size of the condition what to be. But from both sides, you receive the same love, the same fields of loving and giving for you to have. Then what is the size of an electron? Except the emotion of the time, position, and the presence of the observation. Maybe you understand why you can manifest in one dimension as a stone with the same soul in respect to the condition of environment, and the same soul in the condition becomes the river of life to give life to the others. Mankind soon will understand this, and mankind soon will comprehend the emotion of the existence. And this is why I always go back to the very early, even medical teaching. We always refer to emotion. But the emotion is a position of understanding. There is interaction of one to the other. Any other question? There is something I have to remind you before I forget. March the 3rd, the teaching will move to the 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And hopefully with the last time we ever do this. I hope we don't do it again. As far as I know, it will not repeat itself. But Thursday, the 3rd of March, the teaching will be at 6 o'clock in the evening, Central European time.
Okay, thank you for that reminder, Mr. Kesh.
Thank you.
Got a knowledge seeker with a hand up here, Stefania.
My God, the Italian emotion is coming up.
Trying to get her to allow to talk.
Have you noticed when Stefania speaks, the whole Italy listens? Is she there?
I'm trying to see if I'll get Ed to allow to talk. Yeah, it works for Ed. It doesn't work for Stefania for some reason. Stefania, I think you need to fix your microphone connection so that you can talk or something there. There's something strangling your vocal cords right now, virtually speaking.
It's the setting on your microphone.
I've never had that happen before where I go allowed to talk and nothing happens. Okay, well, I think she's going to reset there. She just went out, so she'll come back in. In the meantime, we have Ed. Would you like to go ahead, Ed?
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Kesh. In some of my videos that I've produced, I've always portrayed the soul of the man and the soul of physicality in two different locations, like one in the head and another in like the chest area of the body or something, and they interact through the fields. But I'm starting to, I feel I understand now that the proper visualization of this would be the soul of the man as a much stronger source in the center, and the soul of the physicality as a weaker sphere around it, shaped according to the environment. Would that be correct?
Maybe in one position, yes. Maybe in one position, no. There is a fundamental point to understand in respect to the fields of creation. Is the magnetical field, which is the strength of the soul, which becomes an interaction field of the environment of itself, the physicality of the man. When we have a soul of the amino acid, interaction with the field strength of the environment of another plasma, when the two interact, will show the peak, what we call the crown, in case of the corona. In fact, the interaction of the field of the soul of the man, the physicality of the man, with each other in the gravitational field, the strength of the environment, create the shape, the color, the size of the body of the man or any entity. In a way, our fingers and our toes are that crown on the cell, on the amino acid, in interaction with the fields of the environment, where us are created from interaction of the fields of the totality and individuality in respect to the environmental gravitational magnetic fields. So we have to understand this. Then it answers a lot of questions. We decide why we go taller, shorter, brown color, yellow color, or like a omega or the rest. I was asked many times, why do you come and want to test and taste the pains of physicality, the life of physical life. Till we don't taste it, till we don't test it, we cannot understand where the problem is, that we can correct it. We have a very good say. You cannot stand on the sideline of the football pitch and play football with the ball on the pitch. You have to play the game to understand and enjoy the beauty of the game, the pitfall of it, and what is wrong and what is good, and what solidarity and love brings amongst the same man and the opposition. Many times, I'm a football lover, all of you know. I looked, 1 week the man plays for one side, and the next week he moves to another and plays for the other side with the same people who was against the people who was playing last week with. Where do we draw the line? It's us who decides that line where it moves. A few $1,000s has changed us, but does it change the emotion of the same boys you after the game went for a drink? And now I'm not coming with you because I've got new drink pals now. And strange enough, a few years later or months later, you're sold back to the same team with a higher price. Does the emotion of the man connected with the dimension of physical existence and love for possession? We got a lot.
It is the emotion that creates the physicality, or
In so many ways, yes, partially yes, but you have the dimension of environmental position and direction too.
It's the balance between that and the emotion finds that point of inertia with its environment, correct?
You see, this is partially is a combination of the things, and this is beautiful to understand if you understand the depth of what I'm going to tell you. And I've spoken about this before. Maybe you understand in a different way, or by understanding in a new way, you might understand what I meant from the beginning. Chinese traditionally are short. Sorry about that, Bang Lin. I know you're in the back. Welcome you back. You've been away for some time. But now we see Chinese very tall. And there are some of them extremely tall, which is very unusual. The only thing which has changed in them is it the amount of energy they take because they change their diet, or seeing the basketball players in America wanting to be, the emotion has increased that height. It's the combination of the two. Emotion, which is the love of receiving and wanting to give, even to your own organs, your hand, your finger, whatever, that creates you to satisfy the soul. I've talked about this many times before, about the girl, a beautiful girl. She's actually studied nuclear physics now in Belgium. And her father was one of the 4 doctors who monitored their condition with one of our cases, because I was scientists providing system, doctors were monitoring. And this girl wanted to be a harpoonist. And when you look at it, the love to play harpoon has changed the physicality. Charge to play harp has changed the physicality, and you see it. How the fingers have extended. How the body, the shape has changed to support this system. This is a marvel of creation when you look at it, because it comes out of emotion. The physicality has changed to fit because the love of the soul to play the music instrument is so bad. And this soul gives satisfaction to physicality and physicality to soul. So what happens now? We see so many tall Chinese. Is it the McDonald? Or is it the tall player on the basketball and volleyball or football or another ball and the game in America, which is a sign of freedom to grow as much as you like? 99% is equal combination of both. I met two brothers yesterday, both very tall. I met one of the brothers 2 days before. And then I met the other brother yesterday together. And this guy is so tall that I literally had to ask him, can you come down? I'm getting a neck pain looking up. And he was laughing. When I saw the other brother yesterday, I said, what's going on? Does this run in the family? He said, no, we live in the mountains. There's less pressure. We grow tall there. Is it the environment? Or is the interaction of the emotion? The trees are taller, the trees are free, so I become tall to enjoy the tallness of the trees. It is part of both. Emotion leading to the creation of physicality. But what happened when the emotion of the soul takes over? Would the size of the physicality be the whole universe? Or isn't that, in essence, the attributes of the Creator? If we wish, we get, but we have to understand that wish is for the benefit of more than me, not for me to gain something out of it. We've seen it in the operation of the Universal Council in the past few months and few years. Wish to bring joy to the others, and no child loses a father in a war, brought the end of the wars. A joy to finish the problem for millions to suffer has brought the completion of success of 5+1. Because the wish was there, is added to, is strengthened to the different position and love. Remember what I promised you, very soon Iranian nuclear physicists will be in the White House. It's just about to happen. Because the soul of emotion to give was so strong from the knowledge seekers and from the Universal Council that directly has affected. Doesn't matter how they negotiate, wherever they go wrong, they go right. They get to that point. When I announced about a month ago we're going to be successful, the negotiation is more or less complete, many people thought that's another thing. Now you see. I congratulate Mr. Barbary in his skilled negotiation, but he had a lot to do. He knew he had a winning card in his hand before he left the house, but he never used it. I had to use it on behalf of the Iranian nation government with atomic energy authorities and hammer the Israelis and Americans with it, that we know, but we are very gracious and graceful. We don't talk. Because we all come from the same essence, to be serene, to be the lovers and to be the givers. And then by giving becomes love. By manifestation of giving, to bring that condition, we create that body, that atmosphere, that solar system, that structure, that only love flows for that condition in it. I was asked if you heard an American teaching recently, what do I see with Ukraine? Yeah, Russians might go into Ukraine because it's their territory, it's their part of their motherland, but would anybody go to war for it? No, because there's no need to fight. We'll find a solution. if you don't find a solution, you find people who think the way you are, and you put them in a position and take the old guys out, and you're back to the same position. Gun policy has become negotiation policy, and negotiation policy become love policy very soon. There is a problem. We flood it with love. We find a solution. We have to find a solution, and by giving to each other, we develop. This is how the Keshe Foundation in Arizona has become a center for love of the knowledge and physicality. The same in Austria for all the scientists, be it Iranian, American, Chinese, whatever. You will see in the next few days the evolution which Keshe Foundation will start around the world in a very hidden way. And then we'll sit and watch which nation will beat the 6th of June fight. Because that's their target. By sharing and working on it relentlessly, they will do it. Because we wish that that. In a way, we all give them a shell. And in a way, they build a system with their love. As we say, watch the space. The true love of creation and creator for man to love each other has just begun. We stop them fighting, now we get them loving. But the most beautiful thing is how much they'll fight to show more love for each other is the game we watch. I love you one, I love you two, I love you more, and so do I too. Any other question?
Mr. Keshe, to withdraw the physicality inside the soul, do we need to, is it understanding, or is it a whole different strength of emotion that we need to?
Both. You have to understand it to be able to use the emotion.
Will the understanding lead us to just, I don't understand how.
It's the maturity of interaction of the fields. What strength field do you use to understand the interaction between the fields of the soul and soul of physicality? That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we had Stefania here briefly. What
has she found his voice?
Stefania, did you still wish to speak? Let me see if she's got a hand up there. We'll allow to talk, and okay, I think that'll work if you open your mic.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Mr. Keshe, good morning. I have to just move position because, yeah, just a second. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, good. Yes, I think if the teaching of today, would go viral, will be people will understand the power they have, or the power we have, and what is all about. Because you touch a very.
You're breaking up, Stefania. Maybe you can move a little bit there or something. Hello, can you hear me? I'm not hearing Stefania. Not sure if it's only me or I think she's had an issue. She's dropped out there. Okay.
It's the same.
Okay, we have Alexandre who has a hand up. Let's see what they have to say. Can you go ahead, Alexandra?
Bom dia. Bom dia, tá me ouvindo?
Do you need a translator?
Sim, Alexandre de Brasil.
In Portuguese?
Yes.
Raphael is here. Here we go. Go ahead, Raphael.
Okay, hello. Thank you, Rick. Hello, Mr.
Ok.
Ok, Alexandre.
Bom dia a todos. A minha pergunta é a respeito da viagens, né? Como vamos saber chegar até um local que de repente a Lua ou algum outro lugar, como vamos conseguir controlar a nossa emoção para chegar àquele local e voltar, uma vez que não sei onde fica. Por exemplo, quero ir para Orion. Como vou chegar lá sem saber onde fica?
So the question from Alexandre is, how do we get to a place without knowing the place? For example, the moon. How do we control our emotion to get there?
What do you mean?
Let me ask him again. Então, Alexandre, se pudesse ser mais claro, por favor, seria como você controla a sua emoção para chegar no local? Sim. Alexandre, está me ouvindo?
Perdão. A minha pergunta é, como eu posso chegar em algum lugar sem saber aonde ele é? Por exemplo, eu quero ir para Orion, tá? Uma outra galáxia, se eu não conheço a galáxia. Normalmente, para me chegar a algum lugar, eu tenho que saber onde está esse local.
So his question is, how can I go to a place, for example, another galaxy, without knowing that place? Because for me to go to that place, I need to at least know how that place is or if that place exists. So how can I go there without knowing that place?
Can you explain? I don't understand exactly.
Yeah, I think what he wants to know is he was connecting first with the moon. So, for example, he wants to go to the moon with the technology, but how he can go there if he don't know the place itself? Because by the explanation of Alexandre, he needs to at least know that that place exists. So if we don't know that some point in the galaxy don't exist, how can I go to that point to know that place there? How can I connect myself to be attracted to that place?
Your soul does. We don't have GPS in the universe, but your soul does. If you are or you have experimented with magnets, do a very interesting experiment. Very, very interesting work. I've done that many times because you get a magnet and set a number of magnets on the table and release it on the top, in the center, or whatever position, and see how that magnet, where that magnet, and the way that magnet finds its final position. And how many other magnets on the table will move, they join, they interact, and they become another group or individuals or new position. This is what happens to the soul of the man if you decide to find a position in place. Some of these microphones open. You decide, and in that process, how many others will join you to get you to there, and what you need to get there that it guarantees your survival and the existence of you and the rest. This is a field of strength positioning, but collectively. You decide to go to the moon, but you don't know which part of the moon will suit you because of its field. Your soul does, because it feels with the interaction of other fields in totality. You've got to understand, whatever position in the universe you want to go to, your soul in the field of strength of the magnetic field of his existence already has a connection to that dimension and position. And many things has to interact for you to be there. Otherwise, that place could be poisoned. You could be the end of it. GPS of the soul of the man is the multiplicity of its field of strength, which is connected to totality of the fields of the universe. Not written on a box and electronics. I explained this some time ago. They asked one question: why are you here? Why have you chosen this planet, this time, and this space? Because the soul of the man, the soul of the planet cried for help. And collectively, the soul of the existence of the universe needed a soul strong enough, patience enough to wait, to come, to sort out, to educate, gradually to bring the point that when it comes to totality, the whole lot of the souls understand and the whole planet changes. We heard the cry of the soul of the planet in destroying life and killing. We came here to change, but through time and space, walk around the deserts of this land and the snow plows of the north for thousands of years, knowing that finally the final fruit of it will be peace. And my walks has come to an end. Because man now for the first time wants peace. And then we'll change the way. And we shall hear no more cry from this planet. As it learns, it will not kill, it will not destroy, it will not die. Then you understand. You don't need no GPS. The GPS of you is the strength of the field of the soul. And the desire to be connected with which field, at which strength, at what position. But it takes time to learn.
Did that complete the question from Alexandra?
Let me ask him. Alexandre, tá mais alguma pergunta? Completou sua pergunta?
Não, completei sim. Muito obrigado a todos. Obrigado, senhor Mr. Cash, pela oportunidade de estar aqui presente e a sua presença. Muito obrigado.
So Alexandre say yes, and it's complete the question. I want to say just thank you, Mr. Cash, for being able to be in your presence here.
Okay, thank you very much.
You know, as knowledge seekers, we hear this word many times, that it is pleasure to be in presence and asking questions. In a way, it's a pleasure to be able to teach that elevates your souls. Your presence is a gift. For us, it's spreading the knowledge, which is a gift. And gift cannot be given that if there is no one to receive it. Any other question?
Yes, we have Thomas with a hand up. And before we get to that, we have a question in the Q&A from Alex Siamono. What is special about 2202-2022? This is someone new that's come in, and perhaps that could be explained to new people.
It is one of the crucial points of the maturity of the soul of the man. It's the beginning of the time where many souls will be elevated to understand the process of the creation. And we'll see the process, the start of the new generation of men. And this process will take a long time to complete, but is the position where man become aware and the power of his own existence in the dimension of the soul. It's the day of what we call recognition of one strength, one knowledge, one understanding, and how this process has created. It's the creation of manifestation of Mehdi, the promised one, in the soul of the man, in understanding the totality of man's own strength, in a way confirming the understanding of the creation and the creator without any shape or form of physicality or intermediary. Enlightenment to the light of the knowledge. That's what it is for. And it's a turning point. We shall see massive changes from next Tuesday in the structure, the social structure of this planet. We'll see massive improvements, massive progress towards the peace, towards unification of the sciences and technologies of man, which leads to totality of understanding. It's the time of Mehdi and manifestation of his presence, where it's within every man as part of the soul of totality. And in a way, it's the time when the Universal Council meets to bring that unification of the soul of the man in respect to the position, time, place of the presence of, and the desire of the soul of the mankind to reach the ultimate goal, which is to love the Creator, to give, to become part of. It's a wonderful day if you understand it. Just doesn't go by name. It's chosen by time, place, and what we call a strength. We'll see the start of the change in many ways. Starting next week, from 22nd on, we'll see massive development in process of the space development, space processes, man understanding there's a bigger space in the universe than man has chosen as village of Earth. And man will start investing in the knowledge, the true knowledge of creation, not just knowledge as what man thought it was being created out of. If you knew what I know, you shall not sleep till next Tuesday, and thereon for us, where the beauty of the Creator shall be shown. It's the day of judgment for man's understanding of one's own soul and its capabilities and its connection and its power and understanding the beauty of the creation. And the Universal Council members are getting very quiet. And the Universal Council members will come to understand it. And then once they feel it, they'll connect through it with the soul of Mitra, and through it with the soul of the humanity and the rest, and the change will come. Yeah.
Promise Thomas to go ahead there. There is a comment from Lizanu in the chat here that sort of goes along with what you were saying. Perhaps we can interject that first here because it kind of has some urgency to it. Lizanu says, I've noticed that some of us are changing conditions by giving orders to the cups, and they say they feel the benefit of it. I feel sad knowing this. It is like you're giving orders to one of us to do something for you. It feels like slavery. I am ashamed sometimes even to look at the cups and ganzas, knowing that I am not clean or able enough to alter their perfection. Please explain to us the right way to interact with the ganzas, children's, and the rest of our environment, because I feel we are not understanding love yet. Thank you very much.
Can you repeat that again?
Okay.
Maybe you understand different.
Yeah, I think second time through, people get it better. They say, I've noticed that some of us are changing conditions by giving orders to the cups, and they say they feel the benefit of it. I feel sad knowing this. It is like you're giving orders to one of us to do something for you. It feels like slavery. I am ashamed sometimes to even look at the cups and ganzas, knowing that I am not clean or able enough to alter their perfection. Please explain to us the right way to interact with the ganzas, children's, and the rest of our environment, because I feel we are not understanding love yet. Thank you very much.
I know a lot of people make different cups of life and cups and cup of man and everything else to see what they get out of it and what they want from it. But they haven't realized you have to give to be able to receive. And this goes back to a lot of beliefs. Many of us, many of people around us, they say, if I win the lottery, I give half of it away to the poor. How many poor people gave their money that they win the lottery that you want to win? Does the greed of the man bring the generosity of the man to the limit that he still can have and be greedy? And this is what it is. No more. People don't make a cup of life to become the beacon of their souls to spread to the others. They make it that what they get out of it. And the cups doesn't work that way. And you order it, you do whatever you like with it. In essence, you fooled yourself. in essence, which part of it do you link into that you become the soul of the man on the top to become a giver, not the receiver? Remember something? North Pole always gives in a given strength, even though he attracts in gravitation of the difference. It's the same. It's the same with us in our relationships. I give him so much love. If I give him a bit more, he becomes too arrogant. What about if you flood him with love, that you enjoy the arrogance of him giving back to you? I used to kiss my son a lot. When he was born, my first child, it was my life. And he was everything. And I remember my mother walking to me one day and says, "Why do you love him so much? Why do you kiss him so much? Why do you carry him so much?" I said, "In him, I see me, the love of the creation, how much I can give him." She said, "He become a Qurbati." It's a specific name in Farsi, which is, he becomes not knowing what he wants to be, and he'll become arrogant. And I said to my mother, I give him so much that in essence of the creation, when he becomes me as a father, he can give the same to his child. That there is no short, because I invest in it. I give it that it becomes a lover the same when he creates. And now that I become a grandfather, I see exactly the same thing. How he gives with so much intensity the way I gave him to his child. I didn't hold back. As my mother used to tell me, I gave unconditionally, that now that he's become a father, he remembers what the father gave, and he gives more than what I gave him. And then, even my mother has passed away, I always said to her, "You see, Mom, I was right. I created more love than I love I gave." We condition what we want to give. If we give unconditionally, even the stone will elevate its soul to become what beauty will bring to us, that we can enjoy its beauty as we want to see it. When you condition the love, when you put limitation on the love, then you have valued it and you're a human. When you give unconditionally and no has no condition, limitation to it, then you start progressing towards the ultimate goal, to become the soul, which is the giver, and in the same time it gives as much as it guarantees its survival to give. Martyrdom and sacrifice has no value in the dimension of the soul. Any other question?